Hello and welcome to the Wake Movement at wakemovement.org. I am smiling. Somebody told me to smile while I do my videos. For smiling stuff, I invite you to go to theaquarian.tv, which is more geared towards spirituality and the upliftment of the spirit and soul work. Here at thewakemovement.org, it is about exposing sometimes the dark and bringing light to these things. And that can get uncomfortable, but I can't just sit back and watch idly by as our country in the United States is crumbling, and intentionally perhaps, and we're losing freedoms every day. Now, I'm going to take us through a tour of the website. Type in Wake Movement into your browser. It is no vowels and no N at the end of movement, but I think we can still put it together. People, right? We're good. And my symbol, my logo, is very deep and profound and has lots of meanings layered into it. Symbolism, something at the Wake Movement on YouTube, you can go and check out. I have a plethora of videos. My big one was Kobe Bryant, Symbolism Astrology, 41,000 views. And then I slowly tapered off, because my videos are going to some corner of a filing cabinet factory somewhere in frickin' Tel Aviv, I'm sure. So this is the home base of the Wake Movement, the home page, and I call it base. It's cool, right? Media, and on my front page, I jumped right to just put in the links of all those who are independent news sources. Now, here we are to promote independent news and information sources. It's that simple. I invite people to get their own website up and put links on it and make freaking t-shirts and freaking flyers, stickers, because we're getting kicked off of YouTube and other channels and demonetized, banned, shadow banned, which is so disheartening. And so as we jump around to different video hosting sites, having your own website, they're at least not coming for that yet. Now here's kind of the mission statement. The Wake Movement is based out of the U.S. Now, I almost don't want to say tell people where I am, but that's good to know the context where at least I'm coming out of. But it's global. The United States is involved in, as the United States goes, so the world goes. The operator of this movement recognizes the state of danger that this country is in and the world over, my friends. What a time to be alive. It's the best of times and the worst of times. Mainstream media is a business, not a public service here for our enlightenment. It is biased, and it is used to propagate propaganda. It's what it started off as, and it's what it continues to be today. And it propagates one side or the other, keeping us eternally divided between blue and white, blue and red, left and right, black and white. That rhymed. Put that in it. I'm going to put that in the Wake Movement intro song. The Wake Movement seeks to get past the ramped up censorship our First Amendment is trotted upon on the daily, more and more. Trying to get past it so that this real news and info can be broadcasted. You just have to click on the images below or the links and they'll take you there. I even provided another link in text just in case there's a question. No More News with Adam frickin' Green. With a master's degree in theology, bachelor's in religious studies, a year of priestly formation, years working and directing religious education and sacramental programs in the Catholic Church, Adam Green has taught me more than frickin' any of them. Here's his website. He's been kicked off of YouTube, banned on Twitter. He shares a lot of his information on his Twitter. Check out No More News on Twitter. Amalek, shout out to Amalek's Unite. And he just Christopher John Bjorkness brings on great guests. Shout out to Albert Bashai. He's funny. Kabbalism. He knows more about Kabbalah than the majority of rabbis out there, probably. Just exposing some of this vitriol, absolute genocidal theology that is prevalent in some of the sects of this religion. Not them all, but it's present in some. And those where it is, they have a good amount of influence, especially over America. So Adam Green with No More News, he is the best. I hope to be on the show one day. Next we go to What on Earth is Happening. This would be with Mark Passio, a great passion, a heated speaker, about teaching on sovereignty and that the master-slave relationship is heavy still, and we're stuck under it. Religion is a big part of that, as is politics and government and our military and our police, through our media and our news, keeping us in a position where we think somebody has the right to rule over us. Anarchy does not mean chaos. They want you to think that. Anarchy means without an overarching freaking oppressor. And this comes from a daddy issue, a collective daddy issue that we have. That religion, Abrahamic religions have really pumped into us well. Next, vigilante intelligence. I like to say it in a French accent. Vigilant intelligent. I don't know why. But this guy does some very concise videos, breaking down both sides of things. And when somebody really does do that, you're just like, damn. It's not so much us good guy, them bad guy. It's oftentimes the opposite for an American. And I do this because I love my country and hate to see where it's headed. So check out Vigilante Intelligence. He happens to still have a YouTube channel. I'm sure it's not his first. The last American Vagabond with Ryan. And then he also has this lady, Whitney Webb, who's just a freaking genius and cute. I think she's just a cutie pie. He also brings in Robert Engladesh, who knows the Middle East like the back of his hand. And it's embarrassing to me whenever I watch him about how little I know about what's really going on there. And I'm somebody who makes a freaking effort to. So imagine the majority of us who make no effort to. So easily controlled, aren't we? The Daily Wrap-Up. He exposes this whole COVID thing and the vaccine thing and has been on top of it from the get-go. Next, we go to ANC Report with Ryan Dawson. He has broken through 9/11 better than many other people I know, except for Christopher Boylan, who Adam Green has had on his show, No More News, exposing 9/11 for what it is. And the fingerprint of Israel all over it. I did a video on Wake Movement about Larry Silverstein saying to pull the buildings, and then the fire department did after they called him. You don't do an organized demolition, set it up in freaking 7 hours. That takes at least 7 days, months. That's the smoking gun right there amongst the dancing Israelis. Set up video cameraing it ahead of time, having foreknowledge. The art students who were Mossad operatives. Blackstone Intelligence with Jake Morphonios up next. He researches Middle Eastern affairs and knows so much about it. It's great. He breaks out maps too. Really well produced. And he's able to tell you the state of the country, of America especially, that we're in. But he does it with a deep voice. So it's like he's hugging you as he's breaking this news to you. He's also a good friend of our boy Adam Green. Next up, we have, after Blackstone Intelligence, Red Ice TV with Lana and Heinrick. And they do all the same stuff as the last featured. And they get called like a Russian agent, which is funny. It's name calling. Baseless conspiracy theories. Oh, and if all these people, none of them bought into the QAnon thing for a second. A psyop. Pushed mainly by our friends in Israel. The new tech center of the world, using China and Russia to pit them against us. So there's their war of Gog and Magog, and who stands at the end? The chosen. Funny story, I actually have my ethnicity. My mother's Polish. I have family that died in the Holocaust. And I have ethnicity that goes to Germany. I could have had family on the other side of it. So easy to vilify someone else. We did a great job of doing that to the Middle Easterner people of Islamic bend after Shemaim 11. And then we created the Patriot Act to spy on our own citizens. And now it's being turned even more so after this storming of the Capitol, which is such a staged, false flag, farceutical psyop. Breathe. That's why I have the Aquarian.tv. I work on that and I breathe and meditate. But here, one of my gifts is exposing the dark occult aspects to it, because Kabbalah plays into this heavily, and astrology is a big part of Kabbalahism, and I am steeped in astro-theological astral myth, which is often the foundation of many of our religious myths, seeing that they're allegory for our own ascension, not literal. We take this concept of as above, so below, which is in my very WM Wake Movement logo. It's an upward triangle and a downward triangle, and the W reflects the M. It's like a reflecting pond of the phalanx together with the chalice. I'm using their symbolism and taking it. Saturn isn't a bad, evil planet, but it's like they got him in a genie bottle. It's like when Jafar got it. So with intellectual honesty, integrity, love even, I'm really just sad for people who get caught up in these types of mind bends. I went through a stage of sad, angry, sad, the whole grieving process. And through some effort of incorporating soul work and spirituality, I came to a place where I could do my best to accept things as they are, to get out of cognitive dissonance, because oftentimes these things are so uncomfortable that we don't want to deal with them. That's understandable. But if you care anything about the world and its state of affairs and future generations, then you're going to be spurred to do something. And this is my call to action and me heeding that call and then calling it out to others. I love you so much. Oh, I also want to mention Raging Dissident. He's on his second channel. He is funny, and he breaks down stuff as it really was really real. He just did a thing on the Waco. Turns out the narrative we were fed on Waco was a total one-sided biased farce, when in reality it was our own military sent in to go exterminate 40 freaking American citizens who just happened to practice a different form of their religion, Christianity. He believed this about it. So, smile. I had a lady friend tell me to smile. You see how it's hard to smile and stuff like this. Alright. So, thank you to the Wake movement for all you do. You're really great. I have some swag that I screen print my own shirts. Hopefully in the future I won't have to. Pretty tight though, huh? Huh? My logo is Litty. I have it in female and everything. Alright, signing off. I love you. WakeMovement.org